Hi there people, what's going on? Ryan White for High Point Music's online video tutorials, and today we've got a very cool guitar driven pop song we're going to have a look at. It's Harder to Breathe by Maroon 5. Now this was, I think, their first single off their debut album back in the day. There's some cool, interesting groove going on here which we're going to break down with our guitar. Bit of power chords in the chorus and some interesting stuff going on in the bridge, so I can't wait to take you guys through all the steps, everything you're going to need to be able to play through this one. So let's drop this intro and get straight into the lesson. Okay people, so starting off on the fretboard today, we've got the first riff of the tune, so 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Alright, cool, so let's start breaking down exactly what is going on with this guitar riff here. So on the fretboard, we've got our first finger on the second fret on the A string there, and then I'm using my third finger to go to the fourth fret on the A string there. So just a tone we're moving between there. So that's all we're doing, is hitting between the second and the fourth like that. So 1, and that's all going down in an 8th note subdivision there. So what we've got to break it down rhythmic wise, I'm going to count out really slow the first bit. So 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. So we're coming up to the 4th fret on the E string there. So putting that first part together, 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4 again, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 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 1 and 2, 3, 4. Last time, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay, so pretty straightforward there as long as you just follow the steps. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Pretty easy. So let's jump in and have a look at the second half of that. So we go 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's what's going on there. So we're actually starting on the and of the second note there. So 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So all 8th notes. I'll just do that back half of that riff there. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's 1 and 2 and on the 4th fret, and then 3 and on the 2nd and 4th on the A string, 4 and on the 2nd and 4th on the D string. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Alright, let's put that in context with more of the riff there. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so I understand that's going to be a little bit tricky for some people starting off, but the most important thing with all of this stuff is to go really slowly and understand where all those beats are falling. And if you're counting it in an 8th note subdivision, so that's 1 and 2 and 3 and like that, you'll be able to lock those notes in on the correct beats and you'll be able to slowly start working this riff together. So very important people that you follow that process laid out for you there. And if you do, you're going to get this one up to speed. No problems at all. Alright, so the second variation we've got on that riff, after they play through it a few times in the first verse, what's going on is they're incorporating a bit of muting in between the strings. I'll show you what I mean there. So we go. Alright, so very cool effect, adds percussive element to the guitar playing and a lot of drive to the tune and momentum to what's going on. So effectively we'll split the screens up here, people, but all that's going on is in between the notes, you're playing the riff as normal as you were in the first part, but you're just going. So what's going on here is every eighth note that doesn't have a note on it, the beat is then filled up with that percussive technique, which is just laying our fingers across the strings to get a group of dead notes, I should say there. So that's very, very simple. So every note, you're just filling out the spaces in the riff with that one. Again, take your time, get the riff down for starters first and foremost, then you can add that part in there. And then we're halfway through the tune, everything we need to cover. All right, people, so that brings us to the chorus section now. So what we've got going on here is we're using some power chords. I'll show you what it is, and then as per usual, we're gonna break it all down. So we go 1, and then it drops out and the vocals carry the last, or the remainder I should say, of the hook. So what we've got going on here, people, is 4 power chords. So that's the 5th interval, root note, 5th octave up top. Let's jump on in. So what we've got going on here is our first finger on the 4th fret on the A string. Our 3rd finger then comes in on the 4th fret on the sixth fret I should say, on the D string. And then our 4th finger is on the 6th fret on the G string there. So these 3 strings there we've got going on. And as I've pointed out in other tutorials, this chord shape is completely movable between the A string and the E string. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So from the C sharp 5 position here, we're going to move every finger up a string to the G sharp, like that, into that position. Okay, so just practice that transition if you're not familiar with that one already. And then moving on from that, we're taking it down 2 frets to the B in the root note here. And then again, we're following the same movement up to the F sharp on the E string there. So it's just cycling through those chords again. We've got C sharp, G sharp 5 there, so 4th fret. 2nd fret, we start on the A string, B5, down to F sharp 5 there. Cool. Step number 1, get that moving really well. Once you've got that moving well, we're going to bring our right hand into play. So we go 1, so that's what's going on. We're going 1, 2, hitting the chord really, really strong and clear. And then we are on our fretboard, we are relaxing. So I'm dropping my fingers on there to get that dead percussive effect. So it's 1, 2, and da. So we're just going 1, 2, and da. That's the rhythm. 1, 2, and da. 1, 2, and da. 1, 2, and da. So you get the feel for that rhythm. Once you're cool with that, we can move it up to the G sharp. So 1, 2, and da. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So in between the chord hits on that G sharp, we are actually releasing the pressure on our left hand to actually cut the chord off to give it more accent with the rhythm. So we go 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And the very, very cool thing about all of this one, people, is once you've got that moving really well, you're getting those accents really clear, particularly on the top power chord here. We just move it down to the B5 and just replicate the same right hand and left hand techniques with the B5 and the F sharp 5. So putting that together, we go 1, 2, Okay, so then we run through that until we get to the next part, which is... With what we're doing there, we're applying the same rhythmic approach between the C sharp and the G sharp, but we're doing it all on one chord voicing. So we're maintaining that C sharp 5 for 1, 2, and up, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And then we're going to an A flat major voicing here, which is our first finger on the 4th fret on the A flat, 3rd finger on the E flat on the 6th fret on the A string, 4th finger is on the 6th fret on the D string there, and then our 2nd finger comes in on the C on the 5th fret on the G string, and that's just a straight A flat major triad, or it's an A flat 5 I should say power chord, with our 2nd finger throwing the major 3rd in there. So that's, is there anyone out there? Because it's getting harder and harder to breathe, and it goes back to the C sharp. So applying that with the rhythm with our right hand, so 1. So you saw there on the A flat, it's 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright people, let's put that all together one last time so you can see how it all clicks together. Try playing along if you're feeling up to it at home. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Time through. Fourth time. A flat. And drop out, and the vocals are just carrying that last, or delivering that last little hook over the top of the drums there. Alright people, so what we've got to cover the bridge section, it's very, very straightforward with what we've done already. So we're reusing some right hand and left hand techniques, just moving our left hand chords around with this power chord shape. So starting off on a C sharp 5, we go to the B, F sharp, that just keeps rolling. Very straightforward how we're going to break this down. C sharp 5, we go 1, 2, and up, which we've covered already, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're sliding straight to a B5 power chord, 1, 2, and like that, to the F sharp 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. So 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, B5. And again, C sharp to B. So it's pretty straightforward with the bridge section, particularly after what we've covered with the chorus. So it should be a matter of just transferring some of those skills we've got to get the bridge together. And there we have it people, that is everything you're going to need out there to play Harder to Breathe by Maroon 5. So very, very cool rock tune. Take your time, get all those parts together, and without a doubt, you're going to have that rocking along with the track in no time at all. If you guys appreciate the value of this content, smash those like, subscribe, and share buttons. Also, if there's any questions you'd like to ask me regarding your guitar playing or requests you'd like to make to see on the channel for future content, drop us a line. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below, either on YouTube or on our blog on the website if you're watching it there. If you would like to get my help personally, the best and quickest way to do that is to book a tailored 8-week video program where I'll assess your challenges, what you're facing on the instrument, and we work together with tailored 101 video courses that are put together to get you from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time. There's usually about a 1 to 2 month waiting list to get in to work with me in this capacity, so make sure you book in today to reserve your spot and get the best results from your practice. Other than that people, this one will be a lot of fun to get it together and be rocking out, particularly if you're learning this one with a band or a covers group. Practice it up, and I'll see you all in the next video.